The nicest feeling in the world is to do a good deed anonymously and have somebody find out. The nicest feeling in the world is to do a good deed anonymously and have somebody find out. Morality is simply the attitude we adopt towards people we personally dislike. To love oneself is the beginning of a lifelong romance. Anybody can sympathize with the sufferings of a friend, but it requires a very fine nature to sympathize with a friend's success. In this world there are only two tragedies. One is not getting what one wants, and the other is getting it. Life is never fair, and perhaps it is a good thing for most of us that it is not. When one is in love, one always begins by deceiving oneself, and one always ends by deceiving others. That is what the world calls a romance. Education is an admirable thing, but it is well to remember from time to time that nothing that is worth knowing can be taught. Arguments are extremely vulgar, for everyone in good society holds exactly the same opinion. Success is a science. If you have the conditions, you get the result. There are only two kinds of people who are really fascinating: people who know absolutely everything, and people who know absolutely nothing. Most people die of a sort of creeping common sense, and discover when it is too late that the only things one never regrets are one's mistakes. Ordinary riches can be stolen, real riches cannot. In your soul are infinitely precious things that cannot be taken from you. Those who find ugly meanings in beautiful things are corrupt without being charming. This is a fault. The old believe everything, the middle-aged suspect everything, the young know everything. Man can believe the impossible, but man can never believe the improbable. There is no necessity to separate the monarch from the mob. All authority is equally bad. The moment you think you understand a great work of art, it's dead for you. A man who does not think for himself does not think at all. Experience is simply the name we give our mistakes. One's real life is so often the life that one does not lead. It is better to be beautiful than to be good. But it is better to be good than to be ugly. Experience is one thing you can't get for nothing. It is better to have a permanent income than to be fascinating. Humanity takes itself too seriously. It is the world's original sin. If the cavemen had known how to laugh, history would have been different. A little sincerity is a dangerous thing, and a great deal of it is absolutely fatal. When the gods wish to punish us, they answer our prayers. Never love anyone who treats you like you're ordinary. Laughter is not at all a bad beginning for a friendship, and it is far the best ending for one. Beauty is the only thing that time cannot harm. Philosophies fall away like sand, creeds follow one another, but what is beautiful is a joy for all seasons, a possession for all eternity. Man is a rational animal who always loses his temper when he is called upon to act in accordance with the dictates of reason. It is absurd to divide people into good and bad. People are either charming or tedious. Selfishness is not living as one wishes to live, it is asking others to live as one wishes to live. I have the simplest tastes. I am always satisfied with the best. Man is least himself when he talks in his own person. Give him a mask, and he will tell the truth. I can resist everything except temptation. A man's face is his autobiography. A woman's face is her work of fiction. True friends stab you in the front. Always forgive your enemies, nothing annoys them so much. Anyone who lives within their means suffers from a lack of imagination. Everything in moderation, including moderation. Art is the most intense mode of individualism that the world has known. You don't love someone for their looks, or their clothes or their fancy car, but because they sing a song only you can hear. I am not young enough to know everything. The only difference between the saint and the sinner is that every saint has a past, and every sinner has a future. I have the simplest of tastes. I am always satisfied with the best. I am so clever that sometimes I don't understand a single word of what I am saying. Be yourself, everyone else is already taken. There is only one thing in the world worse than being talked about, and that is not being talked about. To live is the rarest thing in the world. Most people exist, that is all. I can never travel without my diary. One should always have something sensational to read on the train. You can never be overdressed or overeducated. Whenever a man does a thoroughly stupid thing, it is always from the noblest motives. Nothing can cure the soul but the senses, just as nothing can cure the senses but the soul.